Hello again, it's Noob, and I found one of these little EDC multi-tools online ages ago, probably a year ago now. There's loads of these about, different brands, but they have this nice square box-like format. And one thing that's interesting about these tools is that they do have a nice locking mechanism, which is pretty robust. You can force it back out, but it's pretty robust, and you just have to slide these two little slides back to close the tool up. Now, for ages and ages I've been mulling about, can you do something with this tool in terms of making an EDC lockpick slash bypass set, and I think there might be some ways to do it. So I have a number of spare lockpicks which have these little holes in. These are made by Vent. And I thought, I wonder if I could pop one of these lockpicks in if I just cut down the tips. And turns out, well, yes, you can. So here is one of the lockpicks. It goes all the way down, and it does seem to lock in quite well. It does, however, angle itself down. So I think I'm going to have to fashion something which goes across here to act as a little stop. I'm also going to have to get a whole bunch more of these lockpicks cut down to see whether I can make something that works, and think about how I can get some turning tools to stay within this device as well. I do have some ideas. Okay, and I think we're there. I've got my two turning tools here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 profiles, and you could probably fit more in if you really wanted. But I think that's enough, don't you? Let's try one all the way over. Well, it's locked in. and that is a really good resting position there. So that's really good, and nothing else comes out. Let's try another one. You have to pull that back to let it go. Let's try one in the middle this time. Let's try this quad peak. So again, it's quite resistant to being pulled over, and then it locks in. A little bit of play, but not too bad. In fact, it's very hard to move up. I think you probably end up bending the pick, but that's a good neutral position there. That little bar just there really worked, and again you have to withdraw it. So it's easier to just pull the tab, what were these grips, backwards to then pull your picks out. Then you've got your turning tools, which are here. They're the same thickness, but I could always thin one down if I needed to. And they just held in with magnets, and that seems to work surprisingly well. They just sort of get thrown in, and because they're neodymium magnets, they don't want to come out easily, and they certainly won't come out when you put all your picks back in like that. And I think that's pretty neat. I really want to give this a go. Start picking with it and see what happens. Oh, and there's your little loop for a keychain. There you go. It's all very compact and tidy. I like this. Okay, so where to start? I'm going to choose this little short hook profile here. Fold everything else up. There you go, out of the way. Ah, I forgot my turning tool. I should be able to gently pull one out. And yes, I did actually file this one down a little bit. So the first lock I want to try is this little ABUS. I've got my short hook here, and this is held in really tight. Look, that is the movement. That's like really good. I don't know if it's accident or design, but hey, that's held in really well. Now picking with this is going to be interesting because it's quite thick, but I mean, you know, it's an EDC pick set. It's not supposed to be like, you know, super easy like a, you know, standard pick set or anything. It's not going to be like that. Pin 3, that's pin 1, pin 2, pin 3 there, back to pin 1's fine. Just checking through. Try and find anything that's giving me that counter rotation now. 1, 2, 3, 4, but I've dropped something else now. There we go, but again, I keep dropping pins. Back through, pin 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. 1, 2, 3, and we got it. There we go. Not too bad, not too bad. What else can I try? Next up, I'm going to use the big turning tool and just try and rake this old tired master lock and to see whether we can get this open by raking. Yeah, and we have that open. Let's try this quad peak. Again, it's in a nice neutral position. It does have a bit of movement on this one. I think maybe my hole placement, since I did it by eye, wasn't great, but you know, doesn't mean that we can't get an open. Let's have a go. There we go. So in conclusion, for a mod, I think this is actually really great. It's probably the most sort of functional EDC modification that I've done. Is it worth it? It's a great project. It's like a really fun thing to do. Certainly, you know, you learn a lot about how to mod stuff like this, and that in itself is worth doing if you've got the time, patience, and dare I say money, because you know this has 9 profiles from actual lockpicks. You could probably make it yourself out of some feeler gauge or some lockpick blanks if you wanted to. This, you know, is going to cost quite a bit of money to get some lockpicks that you don't need, and then you've got to spend the time on putting the holes in and grinding it down and all those kind of things you saw me do. So I don't think in general this is probably a cost-effective way of getting yourself an EDC lockpick set. Not really by a long way. That being said, if you want something that's unique and you want something which is going to be sort of yours and nobody's going to have one like it, I don't see why you wouldn't want to. If you want to spend a Sunday afternoon playing around with doing a little mod, because it does work. It is practical. It's surprisingly effective as well. Much more than I thought it would be. I mean, just look how tight that is. Not all of them are quite as well fixed as this hook. Some of them are a little bit more wobbly, but they still rest really nicely on this little ledge that I made. And it, yeah, that little sliding lock mechanism it has is really good. I really like what I did with the turning tools. I mean, they are held in really well just by those magnets. You could put more in if you wanted. You could probably put a smaller turning tool in the middle, maybe a top of the keyway one. I don't know. I mean, you could really experiment all you want with this, and that's really, I think, the fun of doing these mods. Not so much a cost-saving thing, but it's a fun thing to do and to play with, and it's a talking point, and it's practical. This actually works. It's a genuinely working thing. You know, it's actually better than some of the commercially available folding tools out there, in my opinion. But is it worth it? I don't think so. I think for the time and cost, probably not. But you will have a lot of fun doing it if you get the chance. So yeah, if that's a conclusion, I don't know, but it's the only conclusion you're getting. I genuinely hope you enjoy this video as much as I enjoyed making this. I think it looks really great. I don't know about you, but this is really cool. All right, catch you later.